Ogun State was the first state Asiwaju Bola Tinubu came in 1 month after swearing in.
After Lagos.
After Lagos. I'm sure that must make Dr. Abati and I very proud this morning. And he did touch both angles. He came to see the paramount ruler of Ijebuland and also went to Egba axis, which is very strategic. So we say, kudos, to him on the visit. And he said the Awujale had been meaning to see him all this while. And he went ahead and he said he was going to see the Awujale. And they talked a lot. They talked about national development. They talked about the pains facing a lot of Nigerians.
Guys, how is everyone doing? This is an update for you as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu visited Ogun State, as you remember, saying where the whole Emilokan movement started with that. You remember that speech where Oga, they blow everybody, they go, say, everybody live, not because of him.
We've demonstrated so much loyalty, so much commitment, voted at a very crucial time. Your monies were confiscated. The cash swap didn't work. It was terrible then. I realized that. And I came to Ogun State to invoke the spirit of freedom for which we are noted for. I invoke that spirit twice. The spirit of Baba is Emilokan.
Let us now go back to the Naira policy. The Naira policy was a good policy. CBN had challenges with implementation. Like we said every time. It was a good policy because you see, by deviating from the Naira policy, we have gone back to the problems that were first caused that made us go to the Naira policy in the first place.
My people, I want to make you leave a comment. What do you think about the cashless policy where we say they implemented before the election and where we say Nigeria eventually the thing if like say they don't go away, no they work. What do you think about cashless policy? As Tinubu talk about them for Ogun State and for the oil subsidy, people don't they talk say man make them implement the palliative where we say we they talk about. What do you think as Nigerians they suffer, then they in pain? If you like say life no too easy for that side. So what do you say about the palliatives? What do you say about the cashless policy where we say was introduced? What do you say about the subsidy remover? And I want to hear from you. Please do leave your comment. God bless as we watch this video. Guys, how is everyone doing? This is an update for you as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu visited Ogun State, as you remember, saying where the whole Emilokan movement started with that. You remember that speech where Oga, they blow everybody, they go, say, everybody live, not because of him. Things not go happen for the likes of Buhari, the likes of Sanwo-Olu. Say Emilokan, to wà láṣọ rock, to long declare for the presidency. Professor Yemi Osibanjo. Emilokan. And Rufai Oseni don't come, even say, they're proud of you for even visiting Ogun State. I want to make you watch and before we go now come see how Nigeria reacted to the statement where we say Rufai Oseni made on this particular visit to Ogun State. Abemona watch.
See you.
Good to see you. Yeah, thank you, Visitor Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. I mean, this is very much needed. So officially, let's say, also it's sort of like a triumphant stomp. You see, when politicians are finally triumphant, they have that stomp. And that's where he went ahead to talk about the elections and he talked about the Naira policy. Let us now go back to the Naira policy. The Naira policy was a good policy. CBN had challenges with implementation. Like we said every time. It was a good policy because you see, by deviating from the Naira policy, we have gone back to the problems that were first caused that made us go to the Naira policy in the first place. Now, money in circulation is over 1 trillion, 2 trillion now. And experts are saying that's also going to drive up inflation. So I think the logistical challenge CBN didn't get right was like the interface with banks, banking apps, banking operations, digitization and things like that, which the banks have not still perfected, despite the humongous profits they make. Also, we will not forget the role the politicians played as regards hoarding of cash, because we know that the average Nigerian that doesn't have up to 500,000 naira in his bank account, I'm sure that is poorer today, will not be those that will mop up the over 300 or 400 billion the CBN claimed they printed. Because it was politics, then they still mopped it up. We'll not also forget the fact that our system became so politicized that we had to go to the Supreme Court to decide a monetary policy issue. Let's also forget that. And the politicians claim hardship. I wonder if people are not suffering now because of the ill-planned subsidy removal. And please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I don't support subsidy removal, because you see, to make a nuanced argument in Nigeria is always a big deal because people like to pick and choose. And I don't care for that. I state the facts. Subsidy removal is a good policy, but implemented poorly. And the president himself has come out to say that in France, that he didn't take the advice of his aides. And it has to be said. You need to set up palliatives in place before you remove subsidy, pull out subsidy, because it's going to affect the people, and people are suffering today. It's as pure and simple. So we all remember the politicization of every face out there. But you see, the thing about history and single story narrative is the fact that it's always the victor that tells it sweetly. If the outcome had been different, would this story of this be able to be told this way? But he's just consolidating his base. Consolidating his base among the Yoruba people, because any politician, despite the fact that he's a national figure, has to consolidate his base among the people. But it was a worthwhile visit, and it's also in the festive celebration of this season. I think the Ojude festival too comes up around this time. Probably, I think it's today, if my memory serves me right. Yes, Ojude is today, which is another big festival after Ilea festival, like we call it out there in Ijebu. And congratulations to all Ijebu people on the Ojude festival. And congratulations to Muslims in general, for the celebration of this festival. And congratulations, to Nigerians. But, Ayo, the pain is real. People couldn't celebrate Salah appropriately because there's so much pain occasioned by this removal in the land. And palliatives must be done to the people to help them cushion the pain. People are suffering, Ayo. People are suffering.
Well, fully the president will also visited some other places. We noticed that one of his main goals is to make sure that everybody work together, that the whole country work in unity, irrespective of what we feel or anybody feel about him. And see, some person says that Emilokan is a powerful statement of freedom, dedication, and it's a lot of reactions going on. So for the sake of unity and love in the country, I believe Oga go visit even different region of Nigeria. We go to see something like that. I hope so. He will not leave any of the region behind, and that will strengthen his administration, and whatever it is that they discuss there, as they make it known to Nigeria, might also make people to be drawn to him. And in the case of the subsidy where they release, everybody like that. We don't talk for many years. Say the subsidy in fraud. Say the end at all. And most of them don't come out, don't they tell us, say, even the subsidy thing, say, forget it, they made a lot of money from there. Say they are tired of making money. And it's a shame. It's a shame. Imagine the whole former governor coming out to talk, say, one thing, say they made a lot of money from subsidy where Nigeria they suffer. And we see how the thing go now. And as soon as Bola Ahmed Tinubu enter, announced that and say, our subsidy don't come out, the whole place, they on fire. But it's what it is. How do we move on from here? What happens from here is what Nigeria want to know now, because we cannot continue to suffer waiting we don't know anything about. Now, them put us here. So make them suffer it for themselves. But the truth is, say, the rich, they enjoy, now the poor, they take the hits. Now the poor, they take the hits. Now, these people now will be say they enjoy the palliative, they enjoy the subsidy, where they come, everything where they come there. They know they suffer where to get fuel now. They know they suffer where to get petrol. They know they suffer, they still they ride. They go anywhere. They get out of the country as they like. They know they feel them at all. Now, ordinary citizen, no if you buy gas, no if you buy petrol, as you guys they call them over there. Now we they suffer. So I hope that they will put things in order, and Nigerians will get back to their normal life, and we'll be able to, that is if we even have normal life before, and we'll be able to start living the way human beings they live. Maybe say everybody we go be day loaded for pockets. We no go they look after money for one neighbor, look for Gary, look for this from one neighbor. Everybody go they all right. So we hope as the whole court thing they go on, say Oga Tinubu go they make right decision. Like I always mention, Tinubu need to make right decision, irrespective of what is going on in the court and all that. We need him to make that right decision. Somebody say, somebody help me understand what he meant by the spirit of Baba is Emilokan. Where the spirit of Baba is Emilokan. Hey, the whole thing is total mess. Referendum now. The Biafran people still they yarn, say they want referendum. Say they forget it. This whole thing messed up. And some person is saying Tinubu is complaining about cashless policy as if he ran alone for the presidency. Perhaps he should explain in detail how the cashless policy was aimed against him alone. Well, like Rufai said, the cashless policy is not a bad policy. It's just the way it was implemented. And if you go to developed country, you see, I can't remember when I hold cash like that. I have my card with me everywhere. The cash is in the bank. So the whole world is moving, and we can't avoid to stay in one place. So the policy was good. The way it was implemented was somehow, and the timing, I think, for the purpose of whatever they said they want that policy to come to life, then they couldn't even achieve it, because eventually people they bypass everything. They do it and they know how to do best. No one said, I hope if president's visiting the Obi of Onisha to thank him. I hope if the president visiting the Obi of Onisha to thank him for his influence support make any sense. Arise need to know that when you go to war, the winner need to enjoy the spoil a little more, please. I wonder who first used the word palliative during the COVID season, and that word become the unofficial word of year 2020 in Nigeria. Rufai expresses his feeling and a single dimension view always. Unfortunately, consider it to be real truth. Where the guys speak the truth. It depends on what you call truth. It depends on what you see as truth. But when he speaks, there are some sense in it. And if you put away all your biases, maybe you'll be able to understand where he's coming from. Nobody is wrong. Whatever everybody says is their opinion. So what do you say? The fact that it's not coming from your angle does not mean that the man they're wrong. So what is your own opinion? State your own opinion. You can disagree with what they say, but don't say it's wrong. It makes sense, and you can say your own thing too. And when we say you make sense from what you say, we can all reason together and be able to fix the country. But if you now talk, say, because someone stated his own opinion, what he believed, then his opinion is useless, then you are who you are. That's what I would say. Tinubu no talk shishi in for international level. You now use 120 car and throw party to go welcome now once in begin talk. Anyway, that's some reaction from Oga Tinubu going to Ogun State to go see some of the Obas there, and also we talk about the cashless policy. What do you think about that cashless policy? Is it like something that is wrong for Nigeria to implement, or is something that we need in Nigeria? What do you say about the cashless policy? And also the hub subsidy will be say Oga Tinubu rush to remove. What do you think? Because Nigeria needs to start living. What do you say about the palliative way with the request for say make them they do something. Make them they do something. Make Nigeria they jolly. Wait till you talk. Abemona, leave your comments. Let's read from you. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you.